And the thing about it, like baseball, the crowd's older, a little more relaxed. There's not a lot of urgency. In the NFL, it's louder, it's intense. There's urgency, tailgating aspect. In the UFC is just 3 hours of cocktails and craziness. I had so much fun. And I think it's a little bit like esports. If you don't go, it's hard to get. And if you've never been to an esports, and I haven't, I don't quite get it. But when you go and you sit around the octagon and Cindy Crawford and Randy Gerber were there and Tommy Lee was sitting 3 seats down from me and Mario Lopez, that TV host, it was so much fun. Just absolutely. It's kind of like a monster truck event meets a concert, meets boxing, and it equals UFC. It was so much fun. My wife liked it. And there you're seeing some of the stars. Oh. I had so much fun. I can't. And again, I'm not a guy that's
Mario
gone.
Lopez. Demi Lovato.
Yes.
Hey, and that's Paige Van Zandt.
No, it's becoming boxing. Okay. It's really becoming. It's as far as the crowd, like the glam crowd shows up, and you totally, when you go to it, you're like, oh, I get it. Oh, there was more.
Kate Hudson.
There was more energy in that room for the 2.5 hours I was there than at the last 4 baseball games I've gone to. The energy was palpable. And I know a lot of people are like, it's violent. There's women everywhere. There's women everywhere at that event. And they announced Brock Lesnar's fighting June, July maybe or something. Brock Lesnar, who is as big as, he's like an oil derrick with a head. He is a gigantic human being. Apparently he is going to fight. They announced the McGregor-Diaz fight, which I'm not sure if that's official. They announced it for about...
Wait, you don't think it's going to happen?
I mean, they announced it for 10 seconds. It's very... First of all, this sport's in its infancy. They're still doing things I don't always agree with. They just don't... Sometimes I'm there and I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But it's young. Remember, it's a baby sport. It's still being regulated. In fact, the only fight I didn't like was the Faber-Cruz fight, which I thought was boring because Faber sort of ran from him for about 30 minutes.